Namaskara. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಅಂತ. My name is Srinivas. Madanali, I'm going to talk about the Bangalore, so where I live, right? So let's look at who has contributed to the growth and the problems of Bangalore. This is my attempt. I've been living in Bangalore for last almost 30 years now. Let's look at the history and the contributions who have done what for the growth and the problems of Bangalore, right? So quick introduction about myself. I'm not going to run through this. I'll create a separate video at some point of time. This is there for your reference if you want to. My intentions are here and my disclaimers as well. I don't want to claim that I'll be perfect and I'm perfect, or so if there are any mistakes, I'm ready to admit and correct myself. So this is election time, right? And the politics time. Everybody wants to blame others, right? There is a saying that success has many fathers and failure is an orphan. That means if something goes good, it is all because of me. And if any failure is there, because it's on the other side, right? So let's learn about the Bangalore. It's some facts, history, and current status before blaming the others. I'm not saying that, oh, everything was perfect back then and it's not perfect now. It's not the case. Or one party is good versus the other one. Let's look at the facts first, right? So recently, Prime Minister Modi ji said that Bangalore has become from tech to tanker city. Yes, the reality is that some parts of Bangalore, a significant part of Bangalore is facing water shortages, but we are also facing severe drought. That is not only in Karnataka. I mean, Bangalore, it is all the entire Karnataka as well as more or less south of India, right? So this is a natural phenomenon. Of course, we have infrastructural bottlenecks, but BJP was in power for almost 10 years in the state for in the last 20 years. What has been their contribution, right? Okay, no city or no institution or no country or state is built overnight, right? Not even 10 years, right? And show me one place, one city that has been built in 10 years, not even Dubai. Okay, so even with the $1 trillion, with trillions of dollars having in their pockets, Saudi is struggling to build that so-called Neom city, right? So it's neither Rome nor Hampi nor New York. So in any of these cities, they took decades, not decades, they took centuries to reach where they are to today, right? So it's Bangalore is no exception. And even then, after being there for centuries, none of these problems, the great cities, so whether it's New York, London, Tokyo, they have their own share of problems as well. I'm not trying to kind of cover up the problems we have. We have a lot of mess in Bangalore, like any other city, but I'm just saying that there are problems everywhere. So we are going to look at some big picture about Bangalore. Okay, so let's try to understand what is Bangalore, right? So and where in some big facts, right? So Bangalore, the core Bangalore, which is under BBMP, Broth Bangalore Mahanagara Palike, right? So it has area of 740 square kilometers. That is the core BBMP area. And whereas it's a metropolitan area that is between its peripheries like Naramangala, Dodbalapura, Devanalli, Vaskote, Anekal, and so Bidadi and Magadi. Between this area, it's about 8,000 square kilometers. So it has roughly about 1.44 people in this 8,000 square kilometers. On a PPP basis, it has a GDP of about $300 billion. So let's look at how Bangalore's population has been growing. So when we got independence, and probably it was about 5 lakhs or 5 or 6 lakh population, right? In the census was done every 10 years, except for the current 2021, which did not happen, sadly, right? So since sometime in 1800, British have been British started this doing decadal census, so which we kind of interrupted that cycle, right? That will give the basis for measuring where we are in various aspects, right? So anyway, so in 1941 Bangalore had a population of 4 lakhs, whereas in 2011 it was 84 lakhs. As of now, it is estimated that it's 1.4 crores. So let's look at the diversity, religious diversity of Bangalore. Roughly about 79-80% of the population is Hindu, and 14% is Islam, and then roughly about 6% is Christianity, right? And there are other religions, right? Linguistically also, Bangalore is very, very diverse. So about 40% of the population is Kannada speaking, and the remaining are Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu, Hindi, etc. See, the Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu, they have been native for centuries. Okay, then they're not that they come from the from somewhere else. So they're living here. They're probably there are more Bangaloreans than many Karnataka themselves. I mean, I myself was not born in Bangalore. Okay, let's look at the how Bangalore stacks up in terms of GDP compared to other big cities in India, right? So as of 2022 data, so Mumbai has I think this is current based on the currency exchange rate or nominal. I think this is number. So Mumbai has about $310 billion. That is highest, and Bangalore is in the fourth place with $110 billion, right? So whereas in case of per capita income, I'll come to that, but sorry, the per capita GDP, probably Bangalore is among the top one. I think Hyderabad topped the list, but Bangalore probably is the next closest, the closest second one, right? So if you see the same GDP numbers based on 2020, and I think this was 23, 24, you see that Karnataka is in the fourth place, and then what is contributing such high fourth place in terms of the per capita. I mean, it's in the second place in terms of per capita GDP. What is contributing to such high number for Karnataka is Bangalore, right? And Telangana is slightly higher than Bangalore. Again, the Telangana is a much smaller state, and Hyderabad forms a significant part of Telangana, right? Okay, so little bit of history about Bangalore, right? So it was a small village, and then Kempegowda, so senior this year, Kempegowda one created a planned city in the Pete area, right? So that's how the Bangalore transformed from a village to a relatively planned city, right? So if you go to the Avenue Road, Pete, Badepete, and those areas, right? So it's fairly planned for that era, and it evolved from there. And then it went to Bijapur. Adil Shahis captured it, and Shahaji was the one, was the one who defeated Kempegowda III, the clans, the descendants of Kempegowda, and then it became part of Bijapur Adil Shahi Sultanate, right? And then from there, Mughals captured from Adil Shahis, and then they sold it to Odayars. You have to remember that, right? In 1850s, Hyder Ali and Tipu, kind of ruling Mysore state, and they added to Bangalore as well. So in fact, if you go to Lal Bagh, that was established by Hyder Ali, right? So there are a lot of things in the market area that were kind of added by Hyder Ali, right? And then during colonial period, British added cantonment area, and then the MG Road, what we call MG Road, and the surrounding residential areas, right? Post independence, there's a lot of growth that has happened, and there are various positive changes that have happened. I'll talk about them a little later. Okay, so Bangalore is one of the most recognized cities in the world. There's a lot to be improved, but definitely we can make that happen if you kind of take collective ownership, collective pride, and collective interest, and act towards that. So big picture again. Now let's look at why I'm telling this big picture, because people many a time they don't know the big picture. The second thing is we have very short memory and narrow views, right? We have become too impatient. We are ignorant of data. We are unsympathetic, right, to understand it. So just to give a little bit of context, right? We have added 1 crore people in the last 25 years in Bangalore. Think about that, right? That 1 crore is the population of Sweden, and there are countries like Denmark and Norway and Finland. Their population less than 1 crore. So whereas we have added just 1 crore in last 25 years. Think about the needs of these people, right? So we need to be a little more sympathetic to understand the kind of complexity of the problems. Okay, let's look at some of the interesting facts, right? So Bangalore is has been one of the major science and technology centers over a century, right? So we it goes back to IASC, which was established in early 1900s, right? It has grown consistently. Then after independence, significant number of public sector institutions came, a lot of research institutions were established. I'll come to those things in little bit of with little bit of details in few minutes. So again, the thing is that it has become the epicenter of science and technology, and then it became the IT capital. Now it is the startup hub of the India, right? It ranks among the top startup hubs in one of the top startup hubs in the entire world, right? In terms of unicorns, Unicorn, essentially the startup which reached 1 billion market capitalization, right? So those are the unicorns. In that, India is about 100 plus unicorns. In that, Bangalore share is the highest in India. However, there are a lot of challenges in Bangalore with all the spectacular growth that has happened in various peers, right? So we still have, I mean, things have improved in many areas. At the same time, many of the problems still persist, and unfortunately, they're also growing, right? Transportation, we all know that traffic congestion, the road network is extremely poor in the new so-called peripheries of the new areas of Bangalore, right? Especially in the so-called IT corridors of Bangalore, right? And the road encroachments are these roads are narrow, they're old village roads, there are a lot of encroachments, there is very little action on removing these encroachments, right? There are very few new roads are built here, right? And the growth has been really very chaotic, unplanned, and I would say that it's cancerous, right? Unfortunate. There is we have a BMRDA, Bangalore Metropolitan Regional Development Authority, but its plan is not known. Our people they are not complying with the BMRDA, right? Where is BDA plan? BDA has not. They have created the master plan in 2015, 2030, and all that. Now they're not even available on the website, right? It's a very sad situation, right? And there are water shortages, there are sewage issues, so on and so forth. There are many challenges, right? Bangalore is kind of, I would say, like most other cities, it's half, it's like a glass half full and half empty, right? So other major cities are no exception. Maybe there are a few, they're better in some areas, they're poorer in other areas. Hyderabad may be a little better. They're probably much better planned compared to Bangalore, right? Especially the new areas of Bangalore and Hyderabad, right? But there are other positives about Bangalore, sorry, Hyderabad, right? So let's look at the some details about the problems, right? So as you know that the major problem currently we're all facing is the water shortage. I think this is temporary to some extent because we had extremely severe drought. That is one of the main reasons. And the second thing is the new Kaveri, the next phase of Kaveri pipelines are laid, and they're in the I think shortly, maybe in 6 months to 1 year, a lot of peripheries in the Bangalore will start getting water from the new phase of the Kaveri water supply. Okay, so now, of course, the election time and everybody wants to harness the current situation, right? So Modi ji and the BJP is started blaming, saying that Bangalore has been turned from tech city to tanker city, right? So let's look at what happened last year, right? Last year we had very severely, impacted by the probably one of the worst floods in the history of Bangalore, right? You can see the kind of submerged so-called IT corridor roads. It was really, really, even I live in this area and I know that I have contributed to help in that situation, right? So problem is this happened last year, in 2022. There was a kind of unprecedented amount of rain that happened in very short period, and obviously our with poor planning, this became really really big disaster, right? Even the one of some of the best planned cities like Dubai are struggling. You can see the floods in what happened in Dubai in the last week or so, right? But who were in the power at that time? The BJP in center and BJP in the state. So it was double engine sarkar, right? So whom do you blame then? Should we? Of course, they'll be very smart. They're saying that okay, it all happened because there was no planning by the earlier government. They'll say that always. If it's something good, they'll always take the credit. So let's look at who has contributed to the building or the building the tech IT startup aspect. The startup capitals of India, right? If you see the foundations of the science and technology for Bangalore goes back to as I said IASC, which was established in early 1904, I guess, and it was established by Tatas with the support and from the land from Mysore Maharajas, right? But this after independence, it was taken over by government, and it was significant. Its funding has been significantly enhanced. It has grown significantly, right? Its origin started there, and so we have to be grateful for both Tatas and Maharajas of Mysore. And but after all, we also need to be grateful for the founding fathers of the nation to allocate more funds to and grow it to the next level, right? So we have BEL, Bharat Electronics Limited, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, BML, Bharat Earth Movers Limited, National Aeronautics Limited, Aeronautic Laboratories, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, right? HAL was started in 1940. It was started as a private organization. It was taken over by the British government during World War, and then it was subsequently came to government fold, right, when the British left, right? So it has been significantly enhanced and enabled, right? So they built literally 200 plus aircrafts with the technical collaboration from Russia and other countries, right? HMT was a major public sector. They were one of the pioneers of machine, building machine tools and tractors and watches, right? Unfortunately, it ran into a lot of commercial issues. It's pretty much closed now, but it has legacy. It served the nation for 3 to 4 decades, right? IT is in the same story. Indian telephone industries, it served the country for 3, 4 decades. And you can go and look at the township. That is a beautiful township that is there what's it, Kerpura, right? CDOT, again, these are faded now, but they served the country for 2, 3 decades, right? Center for Development of Telematics, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, LRD, this is the research, radar development establishment, ISRO. I don't have to talk about it. We have reached, moon, and we also sent, in the process of sending the satellites to Mars, right? So, and I think we have sent this. I'm sorry, I have to recollect myself. So DRDOs, the various DRDOs are in Bangalore. They've been set up from 1950s to 1990s, right? Some of them may be added after a little bit of 90s. I don't know. But there is another one important, JNC, Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research. It's a relatively younger one, but it is added significantly in terms of creating knowledge and creating research papers and other things, right? So if you see this, these are the institutions which built the kind of science and technology foundations for Bangalore. In fact, the children of these people of children born to people working in these institutions created next wave of science and technology based companies, tech companies, IT companies, startups, and all, right? And it created the atmosphere, ecosystem, right, for next round of next level of next area of growth, which was IT, and then now the startup and the engineering services, right? In all of these things, I'm asking what has been BJP's contribution, right? So yes, BJP has been. I think we'll have to remember. I mean, we have to recollect that BJP has been in center in power in center for 16 plus years, right? What is their contribution in building Bangalore? Okay, let's look at the residential areas of Bangalore, right? You take some of the best planned cities, areas of Bangalore, right? Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Banshankari, Indira Nagar, BTM, HRBR, Basaveshwar Nagar. In fact, these are the areas what you really call what you want to be associated with the good parts of Bangalore, right? They're really planned areas. They're good road network. There's good civic communities, right? And this is what we want to associate. This is what people think that Bangalore is, right? These parts of planned Bangalore, pretty much they were created from late 40s to 90s, right? Majority of them were done during Congress government, and some were done during Janata Dal period. But what is the contribution of BJP in this, right? Let's look at some of the other additions that were added in late 90s during SM Krishna's period from 99 to 2000. Panshankar 60, Vishweshwara layout, Anjanapura, Kempegoda layout, etc. These were added. Kempegoda layout came up recently, but these three were added during 1999 and 2003. If I have one hope for the city, that is this southwest part of Bangalore, which will come up more planned, okay, compared to the other parts of the Bangalore. So again, what is BJP's contribution in creating a planned creating planned expansion for Bangalore? Right. Let's look at educational research institutes that were added over years, right? I'll show the pictures of these things. You can see that all these things have come up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s, right? You see that, IIM Bangalore, this is one of the top management institution, management education institution in the world. It's so it's in top 25 in the world, right? So IISA, as I said, it was established in 1909, but significantly enhanced, empowered from 1950s on, right? You can see other ones, right? Some of them are not known very widely, but you can see that, National Center for Biological Sciences, Center for Power Research, CPRI, National Law School. National Law School has become the kind of number one law school in the country, right? It was established in only 1986. Who was there? Who was the Prime Minister? It was Rajiv Gandhi, right? So you can see that some of these institutions, we go back to this, let me go back to the list of the institution, right? You see this. When was this GKVK started? Of course, there was a agricultural college that was there from the Maharaja's period, but it was significantly enhanced, strengthened and enhanced, right? So it was during Nehru's era. Nimans was added during, again, it was strengthened. It was there even for more than 100 years. And again, this is during Indira Gandhi. And IAC, as I said, I am Bangalore 73. Who was the Prime Minister back then? It was Indira Gandhi, right? So Jawaharlal Center for Advanced Scientific, who was the Prime Minister? It was Rajiv Gandhi, right? National Institute of Animal Nutrition, 1995. Who was the Prime Minister? PVN Nasiram, right? So which party he belonged to? He belonged to Indian National Congress, right? So National NDDBs, 1970. Who was the Prime Minister? It was Indira Gandhi. If white revolution is there, this NDDB has played a critical role in. So we have to give a lot of credit to Indira Gandhi, right? She has contributed, added significant to Bangalore, right? So you can go on and see this, National Institute of Advanced Studies, 1988. Who was Prime Minister? Rajiv Gandhi, right? National Institute of Design. It was added, it was during Nehru's era, so, right? This was actually National of India. I think it was Vikram Sarabhai who started in Ahmedabad. The center, Bangalore Center, was again done. I think sometime it was done in 1960. NID itself was started in 1961. So you can go on, talk about these institutions. Say 71, Indian Institute of Astrophysics. Who was the Prime Minister? Indira Gandhi, right? IT Bangalore. It's kind of, it's a state government's initiative. Who was the Chief Minister? It was SM Krishna, right? Not SM Krishna. I think it was J, but right? Anyway, but it significantly enhanced during SM Krishna, right? So again, you see the Central Power Research Institute, 1960. Who was the Prime Minister? Jawaharlal Nehru. Right? So there's so many things we can give credit, take pride of, and majority of them were established during Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and Rajiv Gandhi period. I'm not able to recollect, one major institute that were established either during, Vajpayee time or Modi ji time, which have become really big. And of course, any institution which start today, it takes decades to reach some maturity, right? But I'm not seeing any major credible, reputed institute that is coming up by BJP in the last 20 years. Okay, so we can see all these beautiful campuses. And one thing I want to tell is that these institutes take decades and sometimes centuries to come to some level of maturity, and some level of credibility, and the growth and other thing, right? So even if you take some of the best universities in the world, the Harvard has close to 400 years of history, and Oxford has 600 plus years of history, right? It's not necessary you should have that long, and we should wait that long, but they take decades and centuries. But these are the institutes that have been they were established in 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, right? You have to remember that we were really poor country back then, right? We're still poor, and nearly half of world's poor live in India, right? So, but still, in that poor condition, we established these research centers. So let's look at the outer ring. I mean, some of the infrastructure aspects of Bangalore, right? So we think that I mean, if you think that nothing has happened last 20, 25, 30 years, Outer Ring Road, it happened between 1996 and 2002, right? Again, who was the chief minister? It was the Devagowda, Jay Patel, and SM Krishna. Significant chunk of the Outer Ring Road between Hebbar and Silkport came up during SM Krishna's period, and that really enabled the IT growth, right? So some people are saying that it's contributing to about $22 billion of economic activities, right? It is really the backbone of the new Bangalore. And of course, this outer ring road has been continuously enhanced. Western part, kind of continuously developed for a long time. I mean, over 2 decades, right? So again, why I'm showing this is because a lot of developments have also happened. But if we had planned better, it would have been a lot cheaper. It would have been a lot better. A lot of new areas like the Begur, Electronic City, or Whitefield, that could have become like HSR layout or BTM layout or Jainal. Unfortunately, that did not happen. We missed planning that. Okay. Okay. So some things I want to highlight here. Again, now it's with the Lok Sabha election time, right? So everybody wants to, and BJP wants to blame for all the ills of Bangalore to other governments. I want to show that it's what I want to ask them, what is their contribution in solving them, right? And at the same time, I want to show that some of the developments that were done by earlier UPA 1 and 2 and on earlier state government, right? Sirsi Circle flyover from Town Hall Circle to Sirsi Circle, right? So that was created in 1990, late 90s, right? So I think 99 to 2000 in that frame, right? And then there are 3 elevated road which carry significant traffic in Tumkur Road, Bellary Road, Airport Road, right? And then Vasur Electronic City, right? These are 10 plus lane highways, the 3 elevated road and the 10 lane below, right? The service road and main lanes, right? So these, again, they're carrying significant part of the traffic. They're key economic enablers for the city. They happened during UPA 1 and 2, right? So what has Modi government added? Yes, now the Mysore Bangalore highway has come up. There's Bangalore Chennai expressway is coming up, right? And then there's also that satellite town ring road is coming up. But I'll talk about that a little later. Okay, but still they're not complete. My Bangalore Mysore highway came up only in last year, right? So how long you took to build one expressway? So Namma Metro, right? Again, it has come up in the last 20 years, and it is is currently is carrying about 5 to 6 lakh passengers every day. It has reached operational length of 75 kilometers, and it will be one of the longest in the country, right? So when was this started? It was started sometime in early mid 2000, right? I think it was started in 2006, and first its operation started in 2011. So who are in the center in the government? Certainly, major part of the metro is shared, kind of borne by state government. Some part is borne by the central government, right? Who are in the center, state and center? Stay in the state, it was Congress government first, and then it was later it was BJP and Janata Dal and others. But in the center, it was UPA. So BMTC, we take it for granted. It carries most passengers in the city, right? It carries about 50 lakh passengers every single day, right? So they have roughly about 7,000 buses of various kinds, and this is one of the best urban transportation corporations in the whole of the country. It's not the best, but one of the best, right? Probably it's in the last in the top 2, 3, or maybe in the top 5, right? So who contributed, who developed this BMTC? It has been evolving over period. I'll give some contribution. I mean, credit to the BJP governments as well. They would have added something, but significant part was done during Congress regimes. Right? In fact, one of the best, the bus stands, that is, the Majestic bus stand, is probably one of the unique in the country. And it was really, really great when it was created, but I don't think it evolved well with the times, right? But still, probably one of the best in the country. Let's look at some other aspects of Bangalore, ecology and livability aspect of it, right? So the Bangalore greening and parks, right? So this has been happening since Hyderabad time, right? We have the Lal Bagh, which was kind of established by or started created by Hyder Ali, and then it took the Tipu nurtured it as well. And then during British era, Kabban Park was added, and various parks have been added in various planned areas of Bangalore, right? So some of them are during colonial era, some in Maharajas era, some of them are in post-independence. A lot of them in post-independence. Most of the planned areas of Bangalore, the BDA planned areas, they have really good parks, right? They've been really managed well. They've come up well, and that makes the city more livable, right? Unfortunately, in the new areas of Bangalore, there's very little greenery. The only saving grace, there are some lakes especially in the southeast and the eastern part of the city, and those are the only area where there's some open space left for and also some lung space and also some place for greenery. So the key thing is there was a significant emphasis to increase the green cover in 1980s. It started from Gundurao, taken to next level by Ramakrishna Hegde and the other governments, right? From 80s, in 80s and 19s, there was significant effort to green the city, right? Whatever you see, the tall green canopy trees in the older part of Bangalore, most of them were planted and grown during 80s and 90s. Let's look at the water supply again. As we saw that Bangalore population went from 4 lakh in 1947 to 1.4 crores, right? So even if it's that 1 crore live in the core of Bangalore, right? Meeting the water needs and then handling the sewage for such a big city which has grown in a very short period it's not a small thing, right? Of course, all the major cities are facing the similar things and they are able to manage to some level. Let's give credit. So the BWSSB was established. They're able to supply water for maybe 50-60% of the population. Again, these have been there have been planned institutions, there are plans and executions as well. But unfortunately, there's a big gap. There's a delay. There's a lag definitely, and more than anything, last 20 years, a lot of unplanned developments have happened. Right, so it's a big mess, unfortunately, right? Especially in the periphery, right? But my point here is let us appreciate that the BWSB has been able to manage the growth at least in core areas, but to great extent, right? Okay, let's look at the intercity highways. I was talking about some of the things, right? The Bangalore-Mysore highway, it was four-lined in between 2003 and 5 when S.M. Krishna was a chief minister. It was initiated and during Dharma Singh it was completed, right? It was, earlier it was a just two-lane cement highway. It was just constructed during the colonial era. And, it was four-lane in just 250 crores. It was done by Karnataka Road Development Corporation. Now we have, created this 10-lane expressway. It is good. I would not say it's world class as a lot of people say that. Probably, I would say world class is 10 out of 10. Probably it's 8.5, I would say, right? So you can see there's a lot of sidewalks and all that. Very not very elegantly done, right? But majority of it is good. Probably one of the best in India, right? So how much we have spent for this 10-lane express? It's 8,000 plus crores. How did this cost go up? There are various, you can get into the details of it, but you think about now we are paying nearly 500 rupees for round trip Bangalore to Mysore. That's significant toll, right? So we increased from 2-lane to 4-lane in this period for a very low cost. Now we have built an expressway. So this development is continuous, right? Similarly, so UPA 2 added, Bangalore Asan National Highway anywhere in 4 and 6 lanes, and they have really planned for 6-lane plus 4-lane service lane. Not fully done in terms of service lane, but they have acquired the land, kept it there, right? And then Bangalore also Chennai, as part of the Golden Quadrilateral, it was created as a 4-lane highway, and the government, UPA 1 and 2, took it, made it 6-lane in most places. They have a service road as well. A lot of flyovers added, right? They significantly enhanced, considering that Bangalore Chennai is one of the important industrial corridor, right? Similarly, Vajpayee government envisioned this north-south and east-west corridor, right, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, from Gujarat to Assam, right? Those highways planned, but those the highways were not implemented during the Vajpayee era. They were envisioned, right? They completed the quadrilateral to most extent, but they were not able to complete the northwest, east, northwest, north to east, sorry, north to south and east west corridor. The UPA 1 and 2 completed that, right? So this Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Madurai, Kamara, this four laning was done by UPA 2 in many sections of the 6 lane. Now it is even 10 lanes, right? If you go from Hepal to Devanhalli and beyond, it is 10 plus lane highway, right? So who did the elevated right, 6 lane elevated road, connecting road to the international airport? It was UPA 2. And there was, other things were initiated. Vaskote, Devanhalli, Dodbalapura, Davaspete, NI National Highway. It was done during UPA 2, right? But uh, it was not completed. The highways get into some, contractual issues with their developer, construction agencies. It ran into some trouble. It is now getting completed, right? So it was started in UPA 2, but it's getting completed now, right? So, okay, you can blame, UPA 2 to some extent, but why did you take 10 years to complete it? It's not even complete. Probably it could complete another 6 months to a year, right? So let's look at the IT revolution. Who created this IT revolution? Let's take a pause. I've been talking too much. I hope I'm recording.